interrupt our program to bring you this important message.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to a special late night episode of Vikings Uncensored. Apologize for the lateness of the show tonight, but due to schedules and various shit going on this weekend, this is when we could get it in. So thank you guys for joining us late on a Friday evening. Norris is here. Norris was here 27 minutes ago.
Right, Norris was here fucking early tonight.
Yeah, but now he's fucking gone, so whatever, but... Doc is here, Drew's here, Angel's here. Good evening, everybody. Thank you for joining. George is here. We got a lot of shit that's gone on here in the last 12-ish hours or so, I suppose. A lot of Vikings related news and a lot of NFL related news that may or may not have some bearing on what happens with the Vikings. So, hey, it's late, but let's get rolling into it right off the bat.
A lot to talk about tonight.
Yeah. Some league news. We'll hit that first, and then we'll talk into the stuff the Vikings have done.
Man, I never get... Oh, my God. Oh, no. Oh, my God.
There you go, Riley. Just for you, man.
I can never grasp that whole foot fetish thing. I don't know. I mean,
I don't either. But
to each their own. But that foot fetish thing, I don't know. I just don't understand.
It falls onto that thing. What is it? Rule 34 or whatever they call it. If it exists, there is some sort of a fetish for it or whatever. But,
right, yeah.
So
Brian, you're in here tonight. Nice seeing you. It's been a while.
The first one's free, Riley. You got to pay for the second one. So
for free?
Oh, Norris is still here. All right.
We're saving that for last. I think we're just going to put that on at last segment every week until.
Yeah, I mean, we'll have clarity on it by next week, but yeah. Not stoned tonight, Drew. I had a couple of beers earlier, but I'm just drinking water now. So,
I'm stoned.
Hey, well, that's fine. I got no problem with that. But so the senior Bianchini is watching tonight. Nice
on the TV too. That's awesome.
Yeah. But anyway, let's get rolling on here. A couple of big news, NFL-wise. Of course, the Seahawks, first off, not tagging Kenneth Walker.
Wow. That's news to me.
Yeah, I kind of figured they would, especially with the amount of cap space that they have. They just won the damn Super Bowl, and they're like third or fourth in the league in cap space. So,
well, if Al Davis was still running the Raiders, he'd be right on. He'd be all over that.
Well, I mean, there have been, of course, rumors that the Vikings are interested. And I've never made any bones about the fact I'm not in favor of giving running backs a big second contract. But Kenneth Walker's
The old man Turk.
Kenneth Walker is only 25. I would not be mad if they signed him to like a 3-year deal.
He's still
But
the thing is though, Rhino, is he's still young. He
yeah,
really
as I said,
is.
he's only 25.
Lots of tread on that tire, I believe. It's like he's a 28-year-old running back going into his second contract. He's a 25-year-old running back going into his second contract. So I mean, that makes a difference.
Yeah.
And there for a while, he was splitting carries for like his first two years in the league. He was splitting carries with other backs.
Well, he did for most of this season too until Charbonnet got hurt in playoffs.
I agree, Drew. Yes, they're one of the top 5 in the league as far as smartly ran franchises go.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I love me some Kenneth Walker. Don't get me wrong, but I mean that's going to be probably a $15 million a year contract. Which
Rhino, this team, our Vikings team, has been in dire need of some fresh fucking legs for about the last 10 years now.
Yeah, but is a second contract running back the fresh legs, or are we better off going into the draft and getting?
That's what I'm saying. We, as far as drafting goes, we are due for some fresh
something, because right now there's only one running back on the roster. But
right, is Ty Chandler still here?
He's a free agent.
He is a free agent. Okay.
Yep. And
the only running back on the roster is Mason then.
Yep. Xavier Scott is I think he's a restricted free agent, but he's also a free agent. So, but yeah, so other news, a lot of trades and signings happening today. One big one in the NFC North. The Bears traded wide receiver DJ Moore and a 5th round pick to the to the Buffalo Bills for basically a swap of their 2nd round picks.
I think the Bills got fleeced there on that fucking trade.
They got a 5th round pick out of it. Plus, I mean, yeah, they moved.
I mean, DJ Moore's going on to his 3rd team, and what is it? 5 years he's been in the league, and he's 28.
Yeah, he's been with the Bears 2 years, and he was with Carolina 3 or 4 before that. So.
And he hasn't looked like a top 10 receiver in the league since those first couple of years of being in the league. Going to flame out, huh? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know about that.
That's my concern with any running back when you sign him to that 2nd contract, Drew, and that's why I'm typically against it. So
that Seattle offensive line is an underrated offensive line in my opinion, and he happened to be running behind. So
another thing with the Bears, though, while we're on that same note,
Enzo, new name up in here.
Oh yeah. Good evening.
Welcome.
Yep. The Bears also lost their starting center. Drew Dahlman retired after 1 year with the team.
Which I thought this was pretty comical.
It's kind of interesting because he's not that old. What is he, like 27 or something like that?
I think he's just one of those guys that, one of those outliers that retires when they want us to, like a Robert Smith or a Patrick, the dude from the Niners.
Oh, yeah.
Just a guy that's young and wants his health,
Yeah. But have no fear, Chicago Bears fans, because you have a new center. Because this afternoon, the Bears traded a 5th round pick to the New England Patriots for our old buddy Garrett Bradbury.
Exactly, Brian. Yeah, Bradbury. This could be interesting.
Oh, I didn't see this, Drew. But yeah, if that's the case, yeah, then absolutely.
Oh wow, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you got to be able to think about the fact that 20 years from now, when you're 50 years old, or that you're still able to recognize your children and all that CTE stuff is no laughing matter. So if that is the case with him, then yeah, absolutely, and more power to him on that one. But couple other ones. Of course, the Commies earlier this week had released their center, Tyler Biadasz, and Chargers turned around and signed him today. So he's off the market. Would have been a guy that I wouldn't have minded the Vikings taking a look at, but of course they didn't have cap space to do anything up until about 4 hours ago. Um, but the big one that happened this afternoon, the Las Vegas Raiders traded Max Crosby to the Ravens for pick 14 this year and their first round in 2027. So,
It's a hell of a trade.
yeah.
And I liked what you said before we went on air. I'm going to let you go ahead and say that, if you don't mind, about
Which,
how that should.
oh, yeah. So, along with the other rumors, and we'll talk about this a little bit more later, but apparently half of the league has called the Vikings about trading for Jonathan Grenard. The talk before was like a second round pick and a day 2 pick of some sort.
There we go. Yes, right here.
But with Max Crosby fetching 2 number 1 picks, I don't know. Is Jonathan
I
Grenard
think
should be
Bernard's
worth
younger than
1.
Crosby as well.
I think he's a year or so young. I mean, well,
Either that or about the same age.
yeah,
I think he's either younger or the same age.
Grenard's 29.
Okay, so yeah, Crosby, I believe, is 29 as well.
Yeah, so they're right about the same age. Is Max Crosby a better edge rusher than Grenard? Probably
He gets
a
home
little
better.
bit, but
He gets home better.
yeah. Well,
But
yeah.
as far as getting pressures, Grenard was second in the league this year, first in the league last year. So I mean, Grenard could get the pressures, but it's about closing the deal with Grenard.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, Seattle. It sounds like they're extremely interested in Grenard.
And like Rhino was just saying, if the Raiders can get 2 firsts for Max Crosby, there's no reason why we can't get at least 1, I would think.
There are several teams late in the first round that need edge rush help. San Francisco being one, Buffalo being another one. But the Ravens would have been, but they just got Crosby. There's Grenard's not on the level of Crosby. No, he's not, Drew. I think Crosby's better. But if Crosby's worth 2 for the right thing, end of the round, you could get a 1 for Grenard, depending upon what the market is. And if half of the league is calling on him, you use that to your advantage. And if you can sneak a number
Right.
or another first round pick out of it, you fucking do that, and you don't look twice. Personally, I'll take a second round pick and a day 2 pick.
Too. I will too.
A 2 and a 4, 2 and a 4, something like that, maybe. But
I think there's a possibility though you could squeeze a first out of one of those late rounders, first rounders. Excuse me.
It might be. You say you got Seattle there that wants him. You got San Francisco that would probably be interested. Buffalo's in. There's 3 or 4 teams right there, and all you got to do is start pitting those against each other. Especially when you got San Francisco and Seattle both in the same division that would be interested. You never know. A second round, yeah. I don't give him up for any less than a second round because he still have 2 years of team control on him. He doesn't have any guaranteed money left, and he wants a contract renegotiation and readjustment. I mean, his hit already this year is like 22 million. The readjustment would probably push him up like 27, 28 million. So, I mean, he's going to price himself out of the ballpark pretty quick. And you got Dallas Turner, who proved the last quarter of the
Turner's
season
ready to step in and take that
he needs more snaps. So
he's ready to. No, year 3, this should be a big year for Turner, in my opinion.
Yeah,
to embrace that starting role.
And you might not, Norris, but doesn't stop you from asking. The answer is always no if you don't ask. So that's what I'm thinking,
Yeah,
Doc.
that's what we're hoping for, Doc, for sure.
There could be enough of a bidding war where you might get that first round pick out of there, but like I said, I'd take a 2. Now, if it's a late 2, like San Francisco or somebody in the second round, then yeah, then I need an extra pick along with her. All right, patience, Drew, patience. We'll talk about this. We'll talk about that right now before we. Since I'm
comfortable running with Blake Brandel at center. I'm comfortable with that.
Brandel, I think, is your break glass in case of emergency kind of guy for center. mean, there's several pretty good centers coming out in this draft. I think you got to put
I
emphasis on
think
that position.
Brandel is your day one starting center this season.
I don't know. I
Unless we
mean,
go out, we draft a guy highly, but I don't think we're going to break the bank in free agency on a center,
no,
Rhino.
I don't think we're going to be in on Tyler Linderbaum or anybody like that. But
So if you're bringing in a rookie, who's your starting center week one?
I mean, it all depends. I mean, because if the rookie's ready, you start the rookie. If it's Brandel, then you start Brandel. But
Right.
um, I'm not a big Michael Juergens fan. I just am not. I don't. I don't.
I don't know. I'm not a big Juergens fan either, from what I've seen out of him.
No, like I said, I call him Timo Garrett Bradbury, but a lot of it, we don't know what's going to happen with the offensive line this year because we have new offensive line coach. We finally got Chris Cooper the hell out of here. So
I think we have a good idea of who's going to be placed where, but what it's going to look like on the field is
yeah,
what translates to the field will be interesting.
Drew's center big board coming out on Monday. Yeah, I'd be interested in that because there's 3-4 guys that I'm looking at that I think would fit right in there. You've got Connor Lew out of Auburn. I'd really like him. I think he's my top center on the board. Slaughter out of Florida. He's another one that I think would fit in well. And then Logan Jones out of Iowa. I mean, you can't go wrong with an Iowa.
Iowa's like fucking.
Iowa's offensive line
university.
manufacturing facility.
Yes.
You can't go wrong with those big Midwestern farm boys in there. So, I like those guys. There's a few others too that, have potential in there. I know there's Pat Coogan, the
Right.
center out of Indiana, who's he's going to be more of a late round guy, but there's a lot of guys there to look at. So we'll worry about that though once we see what happens here in free agency.
Then we'll start hitting the draft pretty hard.
Yep. But the center thing is a good segue into the next section here. Pull a trigger on a center at pick 49.
If they value him highly enough, I believe they would.
It all depends on who it is, but myself personally, there's a couple. I would. The way I look at it, I think the first 2 picks for the Vikings are probably, especially we don't know what's going on with Harrison Smith yet. He's likely retiring, but he hasn't announced it yet.
Safety is going to be the biggest need going in the draft.
Safety and now defensive tackle are going to be. I would say those are probably
Thieneman. I'm sold.
Dylan Thieneman. He is my safety crush out of this class. Also, I also like McNeil Warren out of. Where's he? He's a FCS guy, but he's right in that range. Now, of course, Caleb Downs we've always thought was well out of reach, but now there's some medicals on Caleb Downs that might push him down the board a little bit, depending upon what it comes back. Something about a degenerative ACL.
Wow.
Ryan, he got signed by the Chargers this afternoon, so he's off the board already. Tyler Biadasz, I'd have been okay bringing in Biadasz for here.
Toledo, Rhino.
McNeil Warren's from Toledo. There you go.
Tom, new name.
Hey, thanks for joining, and thanks for the giving me the info. I was mind blocking there for a second, but
welcome.
But with with safeties, I mean, we know safety is going to be a thing. We can't have Metellus playing traditional safety spot, which he did last year, a lot of it, and that's why he had kind of a down year.
Degenerative is good, right? No, it's not.
I seriously would not take him in the first 17 picks with that, with that kind of medical, but that's just me. But I think there's 4 safeties.
Continue to go. I'm just kind of popping up some.
I think there's 4 safeties in that. Well, Downs is in a tier by himself, provided the medicals work out. But then you got 3 other guys that I really like. It's either Thieneman, McNeil Warren, or AJ Halsey from LSU. Halsey, I like a lot. He's got that ball hawk mentality to him, and he's willing to come up and kind of a little bit of Winfield to him, and a little bit of Harrison Smith. But Thieneman, I've watched a fair amount of film on him, and he
Right.
reminds
He's
me
the
of
guy I've
Harrison.
watched the most film on as
He
well.
reminds me of Harrison Smith quite a bit, actually.
He's right, but at a younger age,
Well,
obviously, accordingly.
Linebacker Riley's another one that
Lone Wolf. Yeah, I was just discussing that with Rhino before the show as well. I mean, we're barely cap compliant for sure.
As it sits right now, I think we're actually 15 to the good after all the stuff today, and there's still a few levers that can be pulled yet. But let us Kilgore. He's a later round, but he's a drop off from those first guys. I mean, you got some of those other ones too, Genesis Smith and Zakee Wheatley and stuff like that. They're kind of in that third tier.
I think Thieneman's one of those guys that if we don't play it right, and if we covet him at safety and we want him, we're gonna have to figure out a way to get him because I believe his stock does nothing but rise.
It already is after the combine.
Exactly.
He's gone from a second round pick to
exactly.
He's been mocked to the Vikings at 18 now.
Right. We got to be really cunning about getting him and finding a way, the best way to get him if we covet him. I don't believe he's worth it 18 right now. And I think he could be gone by 49. And that's where
and that's the thing. So, I mean, if you're at 18, maybe, if nobody's there that you really covet, you could maybe move back into the 20s and then take him. Cole Wisniewski. I have a soft spot for Wisniewski because he's a former Bison. He played for NDSU for 4 or 3 years or whatever it was, and then transferred out. So I like his game a lot too. I think he's probably more of a depth guy right now. Kind of that guy that you can develop, kind of what they've been trying to do with Jay Ward. But I mean, Golday is a good option at. You got Rodriguez out of Texas Tech. Got to love that kid. He's got the Jared Allen mullet, and he's got he's kind of turned some heads in some of the combine
and characters in your locker room. That goes a long way in chemistry as well.
Right. Do either of us have a free agent player that I want? That's a good question.
Not really. Not really in my. I'm actually looking forward to seeing this draft this year. Free agency, it's not a really rich free agency this season. It really isn't.
No, I mean, if I had to have my pick out of free agents, there's a couple of linebackers, and names are escaping me right now what the list is, but I know that a couple of decent name linebackers that would probably fit in here well. And I'd like if you could get Linderbaum at center.
That would be my pick too. I agree there with you, Rhino. If we could get Linderbaum and make it work and not make it a cap issue, that's a good route for me as well.
Tariq Woolen at cornerback would be another good one, Riley. Yeah, I would agree with that one. Yeah, the Mountain West Bison. Yeah, the Bison are going FBS this year, so finally. You win 10 national championships in 15 years in the FCS. It's probably time to get some new competition. So, but anyway, let's get into all the moves that the Vikings have actually made within the last 12 hours here. Of course, came out earlier in the week, and I think they're official now. Yeah, Linderbaum might get 22.
That's just it there too. I mean,
Linderbaum is going to be way out of our price range.
There's your salary cap right there, gone right away.
So, you can work the contract. You can work the contract around. So year 1, year 2, probably not so bad. But I don't know that Linderbaum's going to get paid, and he's going to get paid really well someplace, and I don't think it's going to be here.
I'm not. Like I said, it's not. There's no real free agent that really makes me lick my chops this offseason.
No. But anyway, of course, three of the big dollar players, two of them that we signed last year that had a combined $80 million towards a cap this year. Jonathan Allen and Javon Hargrave both released or will be released, along with running back Aaron Jones. Ethan Pocic, yeah, he'd be okay. I'd be willing to take a look at him. Not a huge name, but he's a decent player.
There's not a lot of huge names in this free agency this year.
No, I mean it kind of is.
I think Alec Pierce is your best receiver, and that's very telling right there at free agency.
Yeah.
And then okay, personal thought from Norse here.
I agree. I agree with that 100%, Norris, and I've been pushing that for ever since the season ended here. But we'll talk about the quarterback
We're going to
stuff
skip that
later.
to the end, the very end. Yeah.
Yep.
There's kind of something I want to hit on here on these defensive tackles that you just brought up. With Jonathan Allen and Javon Hargrave and Harrison Phillips going back to last year.
Mm-hmm.
There's some mumblings I've been hearing, and a lot of it you think, okay, yeah, but Harrison Phillips and Javon Hargrave have both went on record by saying if you're looking at a defensive tackle to have standout pass rushing stats in a Brian Flores led defense, you're not going to find it very, very well. Because of the way
Jalen Redmond and his 6 sacks have entered the building.
Right. That's true. But he says that Flores likes to use the defensive linemen to open up the gaps for the linebackers to come in and make most of the plays, to open up the A gap so the linebackers and the edge rushers can come in to make plays. So if you're looking for, and this is, like I said, right out of the horse's mouth, and Phillips saying something last year about it, and Hargrave, as we release him, saying something about it, about the interior of that defensive line isn't looked to there. He's not asking them to go and make plays on the quarterback.
And that's why you probably look towards getting your. We've talked about this ever since Flores has been here. You need that big nasty guy in the center nose tackle. You go out and you get a Cade McDonald out of Ohio State or Dominic Orange or one of these.
I would hate to be.
There's a lot of. This is a really good draft class or at least top heavy for, no pun intended, for nose tackles. There's a lot of guys in that,
and that
315 to 330 pounds.
Because Harrison Phillips said the same thing last year. But and to what you're saying, Rhino, I would love to have a big nasty defensive tackle come in here too. But if you're gonna have him just to fill gaps and to take out blocks, then what good is it? What good's it doing?
Because you need to have somebody who can collapse the center of that pocket. I mean, I know he's rushing linebackers up through the gaps, but you still got to have somebody in there that does that and somebody that can stop the run.
But yes, and also to what you said, I love what Jalen Redmond's been bringing to this defense as well, which is why they got exclusive rights to him and why he will be on this roster next season.
Right. They also drafted or signed that kid out of the CFL that a lot of people are high on. I can't think of his name right now, but then you got Elijah Williams yet. You got Levi Drake Rodriguez. You got.
I'm telling you, Jerry, I'm not just blowing smoke out of my ass. This is something that was on record. And also, in Harrison.
Well, it was what it was. Louis Riddick or one of them muckety mucks on ESPN or whatever had posted that, and then Javon Hargrave retweeted it. Well, you know what? If Javon Hargrave got signed for a shitload of fucking money here, and he lost playing time to a 7th round second-year player in Levi Drake Rodriguez because he was not performing. If he would have performed the way he was getting paid, he would have had those stats.
And Jonathan Allen as well.
Jonathan Allen spent half the fucking season on a milk carton.
Right, exactly. But in Harrison Phillips' defense, he also said, "Hell, if it's working, then why try to fix something that's not broken?"
Yeah.
So he said, "If it's for the betterment of the team, then you let it go."
Right. Drew, last year, I don't think they did. I'm hoping that they maybe have something figured out this year. Some of these moves that are going are leading me to maybe believe that, we talked about this when Quasey got fired, that maybe Kevin O'Connell's seat isn't as warm as we originally thought. I think some of this is a right sizing and potentially a soft reboot. It's not a competitive rebuild, but it's going to be potentially a try to fix this thing a little bit.
Yeah, I like me some Elijah Williams too there, Norse.
Yeah. Yeah, and Jalen Redmond, I mean, that kid's going to be a star in this league, and he played really well last year. So,
And like we've been saying the last 3 weeks, honestly, I like the hands that we're in right now. I like that we're in Brzezinski's hands. If there's anybody that I have faith and trust in doing anything with this team from a front organizational standpoint, it's Rob Brzezinski, the Wizard.
well,
And it will be
and
really interesting to see his aspect when it comes to bringing guys in.
well, and the thing of it is, Brzezinski's in no danger of getting fired from anything, so he's
Exactly.
going to be the safety valve basically from between O'Connell and Flores, going, I want.
I cannot praise that enough. I cannot praise it enough about being happy. I know a lot of people look in there, well, God, the Vikings don't even have a GM right now. But if you know the history of Brzezinski and the Vikings, like we've discussed the last few weeks in the show, I'm happy with where we're at right now in this moment. So I'm excited to see what Brzezinski's got when it comes to bringing guys in. When not just being given guys to sign to contracts, but actually using his football mind when it goes out and coming out to get guys.
Yeah. Norris, we're going to talk about that in a couple minutes here. But we'll get through the rest of the stuff first. We'll save the quarterback shit for last. Also, of course, we kind of touched on earlier. Ryan Kelly officially announced his retirement today. I think
we've
that's
seen that coming. As long as
he was going to be he was
section.
going to be released if he didn't. But from a health standpoint, I think that's the best move Kelly can make. I mean, he's played in the league 10 years. He's had 6 concussions in the last 3 years. You got it's like we talked about with Drew Dahlman earlier. You got to start thinking about your long-term health and what you're going to be like in 20 years from now. KOC's running the show, not Brzezinski.
We'll see. I don't think there's enough evidence either way.
I'm not convinced on this, Drew, because
right.
Brzezinski, the Wilfs absolutely love Brzezinski.
Yes.
And I'm not convinced that they didn't put Brzezinski in this position to keep the inmates from running the asylum on some of this stuff.
That's a great comment. I agree. I absolutely 100% agree there.
Like I said earlier, Brzezinski is in no danger of getting fired. Now, I don't even know.
KOC runs the show. I believe KOC's fucking seat is still very, very warm.
I think KOC wants to run the show, and I think Brzezinski is there to keep him in check.
To reel it in a little bit.
Yeah. That's just my opinion. I could be completely way the fuck off base on it, but that's kind of the impression I've been getting.
Right.
But anyway, then there was a ton of restructures done today, too. Justin Jefferson restructured, freed up $18 million this year. Then shortly after that, they restructured Christian Darrisaw, which freed up another $9 million. Well, to be fair, Drew, neither did Quasey, and he was the general manager for 4 years. So
I don't know. I think that's just an off-the-cuff comment there because he used to say he doesn't know anything about football players.
I think Brzezinski knows a lot more about a lot of stuff than people give him credit for.
I agree too. I think that's just kind of a I don't know. I believe if he's given the GM job, I think he knows a lot more about football than what Rhino just said. People
I mean,
need to believe.
I still think that I'm not sure he wants the GM job full time, but B, if he does, then I think you're probably going to have, bring in some other, director of scouting or something like that has a little bit more of an actual player background to him. Just that's what I would
Great
do if I
point,
was running the
Norris.
team. But
Great point.
yeah, Brzezinski has survived 2 owners. How many head coaches?
I think 4 head coaches.
He was here for Denny.
Denny Green was here. Yeah, so I mean,
Denny,
it's not bad.
Tice, and Mike Tice came out on Twitter this week and was glowing. He said Brzezinski can do this if he wants to.
There you go.
So
If anybody
Tice,
knows, it's fucking
then
Mike Tice.
yeah. So I mean, and then Childress, and then
Frazier.
Frazier.
Frazier's forgotten about a lot of
Childress,
time that he was coach
and
here.
yeah. Well, do I think Brzezinski has the final call on drafting a player? I think he's going to be the guy that's going to probably break the tie if it's not Quasi, sorry. If KOC wants this offensive guy and Flores wants this defensive guy, I think Rob is going to be the one that's going to be in there and to kind of help mediate that to.
I mean, this isn't the first time that this team has ran a draft, so they have an idea of what's going on there.
I have no idea what to expect here with the draft. I mean, it could be.
I'm excited. I have a feeling of excitement.
We could nail the shit out of it, and it could be the 2023
This could be the greatest
draft
Vikings draft ever. This could be I mean, it's got to be better than the past 3. So,
yeah, I don't know. Brian, another newbie in here. Good evening. Jets has been awesome about the. I think he is.
We are so blessed to have a player like him on this team.
Yeah, it is. And again, simple restructure with him. That's the thing with these restructures we did today. They didn't even have to go to the player to do it because it's just moving around guaranteed money.
Know they're not losing money.
No, they're getting the money anyway. It's just an accounting thing to kind of move it. They basically take your base salary, turn it into a signing bonus, and then they can stretch it out over X number of years. So.
But yeah, ever since day one, since Jettas has been here, he's been nothing but a
class act. Yeah,
class act for sure.
And
never been a headache.
Just in case in point, you look at the guy he replaced. Stephon Diggs just got basically kicked off of his 3rd team. So,
well, I mean, it was a slow burn ever since he left Minnesota. I think we all kind of seen it.
Yeah, I mean,
playing out like this.
He lasted in Buffalo for 2 seasons before he wore out?
5 seasons in Minnesota, 4 seasons in Buffalo, 1 season in Houston, and 1 season in New England.
Right. So, yeah. So, but then also simple restructure with Darisaw and also Byron Murphy Jr. So, couple other ones that are sitting out there yet. Brian O'Neill, I heard this afternoon that they're trying to work out an extension with him because he's in the last year of his deal.
That'll free up quite a bit of space then.
Right.
They do the extension over
because he's like it. Yeah, I forgot he was in Houston too, Riley. But I think O'Neill's cap hit is like 20 somewhere in that 20 to 22 million this year, I think. So, yeah, signing him to give him a 3-year extension, signing bonus that you can stretch out, maybe put a void year on the end of it, whatever you'll bring that down quite a bit. No, I agree with you 100%. Drew.
Oh yeah,
I'm not,
and that just goes back to scouting. Exactly. Has it been scouting, or has it just been the stubbornness of our prior GM?
Yeah, and I'm not convinced that the scouting department doesn't need a major overhaul. The scouting department, I don't think, has been great since Studwell retired.
Left the top of the lot.
Yeah, but O'Neill not worried about his tenure. I mean, what is he, 30?
He's still young, and like I said, usually
he's not young, but I mean, offensive linemen can play well.
I was going to say, yeah, but you're already on the same page as me. Yeah, outside of Dahlman and even Ryan Kelly had a decent 10-year career.
Yeah, he played 10
but
years.
Usually, for the most part, offensive linemen usually age like a fine wine. So,
Yeah.
I could see O'Neal easily playing another 5 productive years at right tackle.
Do I sign him to a 5-year deal? Probably not.
No,
I shoot
no.
for like a 3-year deal, but
Yes,
you know,
spot on.
that's we got 9 draft picks. You know that there's a possibility that you go draft somebody, you know, as a potential, eventual replacement for O'Neal in a couple of years. There, I mean, they
Somebody that could come
got
in and play swing right away.
right. Riley Mahlman, yeah, the Wisconsin guy, yeah, he's. I mean, another one of those Midwest
Speaking
farm
of those
boys.
Wisconsin guys, how about the guy that we brought in this last season that had a pretty good game for his first start? I
Yeah,
can't think of what his name
he's a
is.
guard though.
Right, of course. Huber.
Yeah, yeah, Joe Huber.
He might be something to look at down
I,
the road as
I,
well.
I think I think he's a a definite
Provides
option
good
as
depth.
as a
Provides good
depth
depth.
guy. Yeah. Actually, I think we are Norse
We're
now.
15 under Norse as far as I know.
We're fit. If you count in now that Ryan Kelly retired, and counting in those releases, we are, I think, we're 15 under the cap right now. But there's also then the next big one. What do you do with after Brian O'Neill? What do you do with T.J. Hawkinson? Now, there's been a lot of talk that they want to keep him,
You restructure.
but
You just restructure if possible.
well, but the thing with it is they don't want to pay him what the stuff is.
I
So he's
agree,
going to have to take. Is that the case, or is Walter Roush just not any good? I don't know.
Well, you get these young guys in here, and if you don't pay them, you're not developing them. You know.
Well, and
So-
a lot of that maybe changes now when we have a different offensive
Right.
line, or,
Right.
coaching staff. So, but yeah, the Hawk thing, it's not all the realm of possibility yet that Hawkinson gets released if they can't come to an agreement on the redo
If
his
Hawk gets
deal.
released, that becomes a need, top 5
Yeah.
need.
Now, is it a first round need where they go, Kenyon
No,
Sadiq or no?
no.
I don't think so. It is either, but.
And this draft class is pretty beefy when it comes to tight ends too. There's a good.
No, I
handful.
mean, there's a lot of guys. I don't know that there's a ton of really good ones. I like
exactly.
the kid.
Another good comment.
Yeah, I like the kid. Well, and spending a 3rd round pick on a punt gunner.
Right. Just really stuff that you're like, what? Oh, he's a really good gunner in the punt. Let's draft him in the 3rd round. We probably could have got Ty Felton in the 4th or 5th.
Well, yeah, he was massively overdrafted, but McCardell was pounding the table for him, which, okay, if he's pounding the table for him, but you still don't have him graded at, if you have him graded as a 4th or 5th round talent, you don't take him in the 3rd round and then refuse to play him on offense.
Right. That's just it. I don't have a lot of faith in Ty Felton unless they're, I don't know. I just.
Well, and maybe Felton shows us something this year. I don't know, but we never got the opportunity to see it last year.
To show us more than what Ty Felton will. I've been calling back to it since.
Well, yeah, we talked about that at the end of the season that Miles
Just start
Price
giving
get
Price some gadgety plays. Why not get him in there and put him in, get him out in the open field with the ball? We know what he can do.
Cut TJ, switch the wishbone, bring Ham back. That is when Drew asked about free agents earlier. I forget the guy's name, but being we have the Dolphins offensive line coach over here now, the Dolphins released their fullback today. So that would be a guy that I would watch in free agency as a potential pickup.
We don't even know about Ty Felton. Exactly.
Yeah, we have no fucking idea about Ty Felton. I mean, I couldn't pick Ty Felton out of an empty room if he wasn't wearing his jersey, to be honest with you.
Honestly, a great fullback I love in this league, and I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just his size, but Philip Ricard out of fucking Baltimore. Yeah, I'd like to get a guy like that. Or the guy Juszczyk out of fucking San Francisco.
Well, Ricard is available too. He's a free agent, so
he's a fucking mammoth of a man.
Oh, I know he is. He's
like if you had Brock Lesnar at fullback, basically.
Yeah, kind of. But I think they bring in another fullback, but
Or do we just go without a fullback moving forward? I mean,
I think they're gonna you're gonna need to rely on it, especially
you could easily slot
Jordan
in
May
Mason. Yes, exactly.
depends on who you get in as running backs because Jordan Mason sucks at pass protection. But so it'll be interesting to see. But do we need a fullback? I don't think we do, but it wouldn't surprise me one bit to see him go get one. And if they do, maybe that signals that Kevin O'Connell is going to be looking more at actually using the run game a little bit.
That's a good point.
But we'll see.
You got anything else wrote up on that paper there, Randall, that you want to hit?
The only other thing we'll roll into the 5 foot tall gorilla in the room, I guess.
5 foot tall gorilla.
The quarterback position, a lot of stuff going on here. The Raiders did announce today that Geno Smith is being released, so there's an option there. Of course, already announced Kirk Cousins being released.
Mm-hmm.
And then the one that's got the most steam, and I don't like this at all, but ladies and gentlemen, I think we might need to start getting acclimated to the idea of Kyler Murray as a Minnesota Viking.
Yeah. And, I'm going to get killed tonight. Because people are going to think I'm stroking Kyler Murray when really I'm not. I wouldn't be against it financially if it's nice.
Yeah, Heidenreich's another one. I know he's
people
a guy
are going to kill me for
that
saying I'd be okay with fucking Kyler Murray coming in here. But anyways, continue.
no. I was just going to finish off the Heidenreich thing. I know that he's a guy Thor Nystrom's really big on too.
God,
so.
Riley, you are so right. And exactly, Jer, exactly. I mean, the dude has talent. He just can't stay healthy. He's been stuck in Arizona. Kyler Murray's been due for a change of scenery for the last 2 years, I believe. So,
but the thing of it is, Kyler Murray is terrible throwing deep down the field. That is one of the worst things that he does. What does Kevin O'Connell love to do most? Throw deep down the field. Kyler Murray plays best outside of structure. What does Kevin O'Connell want? Somebody who stands in the pocket and plays within structure like Sam Darnold did.
You see, that's just the thing, though. That he says he wants somebody that can play out of structure, but it doesn't translate to what we're seeing on the field. That's the thing. Ever since KOC's been here, I don't know what he wants really at that position other than what we see, which is a structured quarterback. But then he goes out and he has a press conference where he says, I want a quarterback that's not afraid to take off with the ball if we need to catch up first down. It just doesn't make me
right. But then when he has to alter his game plan, his kick-ass offense to fit what a quarterback does, he's got that constipated fucking look on the sidelines like someone just shoved a fucking lemon up his ass. But the thing with and you and I talked about this before the show started. My fear with Kyler Murray, and case in point, go back and look at what happened with Josh Dobbs. Kyler Murray is a more talented Josh Dobbs and also a shorter Josh Dobbs. But when Dobbs came in and they let him just run around and do his thing out there those first two games.
That's when you see the best version of Josh Dobbs.
It was fucking amazing.
Right. That's when you see the best version.
But then after he was here a couple weeks, KOC said, okay, you've been here long enough now. You should know my offense. And he tried to make Josh Dobbs a pocket passer. My problem is he is going to do the same thing with Kyler Murray. Hate to say it, but if we sign Kyler,
unless see that's the thing. I only want to bring. I don't even want to say I want to. The only way I would like for things to be okay is if they brought Kyler in and it was strictly, and Kyler's got to understand this too. strictly a competition for that number one job, and
I
may
don't
the
think
best
I
man
don't think
win.
he's coming in for that because he can go to the Jets want him too. I know, and the Colts want him because they apparently don't think that even though they put the transition tag on Daniel Jones, they don't think they either think someone's going to come take him or they don't think he's going to be back in time from his Achilles injury
And the
which
thing is,
happened in week 14. But
we need a fucking viable number two quarterback, which is one of the
we
biggest things.
we do, but that's why you go after somebody like Geno Smith. I
Yeah,
mean,
or Jameis Winston.
you'd have to trade for Jameis, but
And exactly, Ryler. I've been waiting to say this all fucking night. This narrative about Kyler Murray not caring about football, people grow up. I don't like playing video games as much as I like playing video games when I was younger. And people grow up. It doesn't mean that he's going to stay like that all the time.
and I get that, but they had to put a stipulation in his contract
That
that
was
forced
also
him
what,
to
3
watch
years
film.
ago. That was 3 years ago.
I understand that, but and yes, people can change, and I get that. But Murray has also shown a lot of times to, when things don't go his way or he doesn't get what he wants, he sits and pouts and he does all that other bullshit.
Along with 85% of the league. So I mean that's nothing different.
If you're getting
Yes,
Kyler at the 1.3
this is
million
what I
league minimum
want.
or whatever the hell it is.
This is ideally what I want, is we go out and get a Jameis Winston.
Thank you, Drew. Kyler Murray has been to the playoffs one time.
Who's done anything ever in Arizona outside of Kurt Warner or Carlson Palmer? Who has done anything down in the
Murray
fucking
was
desert?
the number, but I go back to this every fucking time somebody brings up Kyler Murray. They hired Mike LaFleur, who was Sean McVay's offensive coordinator last year. Mike LaFleur is going to run a variant of the McVay offense in Arizona. If Kyler Murray was deemed to not be a fit for the McVay offense in Arizona, why the fuck is he a fit for the McVay offense that KOC runs in Minnesota? Tell me that.
Yeah. No, and like Ant said, Winston is ideally what I want to happen, but I'm not gonna lose my shit over the fact that they bring Kyler in.
I'm already losing my shit. My shit's lost.
Right. No, ideally, Winston would be the guy, or an upper. Regardless, we need a reliable backup
Geno Smith
guy.
is a guy who could come in here and mentor and push McCarthy.
I do not like Geno
step in and play game and win games if you needed him to. The guy threw for 3,500 yards plus in all 3 years he was the starter in Seattle. And the worst case, if everything crashes and fucking burns, you're lined up really well to draft Arch Manning or whoever next year in that deep quarterback class. So Murray's
lots of good comments coming in here.
And when did I say Kyler Murray is as good as Sam Darnold?
Nowhere.
Clean the corn cobs out of your ears,
exactly.
bud.
Geno Smith.
I've been ranting about how much I don't want Kyler Murray in.
Right. What's this? That's not a good argument, Lance. About what? I'm not sure what I'm getting at here. But yes, I mean, either way, we need a viable backup here in Minnesota.
And I'm not saying I want Geno Smith to come in here and be the starter. I want Geno Smith to come in here and be quarterback 2 who can back up McCarthy and who is capable of winning games if McCarthy gets hurt or is ineffective. Right now, and Geno Smith can throw the ball down the field like what KOC wants. He's probably the best fit out there other than Kirk Cousins for Kevin O'Connell's offense like as he wants it run.
I don't like Geno Smith, but I'm not going to bitch if he comes in either. At the end of the day, I hope J.J. McCarthy's our week 1 starter. Like I said last week, I believe J.J. McCarthy will be your week 1 starter going into next season. But
I'm not Son Gopher, I'm not standing over Geno Smith. I'm saying Geno Smith is a better option. Right now, the entire quarterback free agency option is the $10 discount DVD bin at Walmart. You got to dig through and find the one that you might want to watch a couple of times.
I love the comments coming in. I love the debate.
I do too, and I'll take the heat on this. But Geno Smith, like I said, he threw for over 4,000 yards twice and 3,500 yards the third time in the 3 years he was a starter in Seattle. I'm willing to give him a pass for last year because he played on the fucking Raiders. Nobody plays well when they play for the fucking Raiders. So, and this is kind of my thing here. And if you're doing that, I don't want Kyler Murray aside. I don't want Kyler Murray because I don't think he's a fit.
And the thing
I question his desire. And if I have to question his desire, I don't want you leading my team. But yeah, as far as the veteran guys who can come in here and potentially start, there's not much. Basically, you've got Kirk Cousins, you've got Geno Smith, you've got Kyler Murray, and you might have Aaron Rodgers.
Great comment here coming in from Riley.
Yeah.
No, I don't, the thing that sucks is if we bring in Kyler Murray, that's basically spelling out the fact that he's coming here to start.
Yeah. But like Kyler Murray gets hurt all the time too. So,
and my heart is with J.J. McCarthy. I want J.J. McCarthy.
And if my thoughts on what, the comparison with Josh Dobbs earlier with Kyler Murray, if that comes to fruition, Murray could either be hurt or suck so bad he's benched by week 6.
Yeah. Yeah, I like Winston, but that's just it. If we want to go get Winston, then we got to trade for Winston, and I don't want,
Exactly. And it's, they say he hasn't had talent. Okay, he's got Marvin Harrison Jr. He played with Larry Fitzgerald Jr. They've had good receivers there when he's been there.
Hopkins too was there.
DeAndre Hopkins was there. When in his younger days when he was still, a top receiver in the league.
I don't know. I think it comes down to the organization with me and quarterbacks there in Arizona. They have never been able to.
Yeah, Arizona's a dumpster fire, and they're fucking cheap, and that's part of their problem.
Just like the Jets were when Darnold was there. Not that I'm comparing Darnold to fucking Kyler Murray. I don't want to go down that rabbit hole either. But there's just some organizations that can develop quarterbacks, and then some organizations that's always been a problem.
Okay,
the Browns, the Jets, the Cardinals.
Yeah.
You cannot develop quarterbacks. The Titans.
George, nobody's talking about Harbaugh here as a head coach here tonight. That ship has long gone sailed. We're not. I couldn't care less about that one. But it's the quarter. Yeah, this quarterback situation is driving me nuts. I thought for sure we were going to be at the point where we wouldn't have to deal with this crap every fucking off season. Agreed. And that's why I said you go out and you get one of the free agents. And if you want somebody who's going to be able to go out and start and win games, you got basically 4 guys.
Yeah. Yep. But at the end of the day, it's about having a guy that can come in here and win games, either as a backup or as the guy that needs to step in and start, And the thing is we got J.J. McCarthy and Max Brosmer on the fucking roster right now, and I don't like that at all by any means.
No, you can't go into that.
So we need to get somebody in here.
Yeah, George, I don't know what's going on, but if you got a problem with what we're talking about, you can bring it to us offline or you can bring it up here, I guess. But Kyler Murray is not the answer. I agree with this 100%, Drew.
See, and that's what sucks, Drew, is because there's a lot of weight going into this. And when I look at it, I want to go with McCarthy. But when I look at it, there's a lot of weight going into this Kyler Murray. I mean, are the Vikings going to bring him in or not? To me, it could definitely it could be a possibility. I mean,
Yeah, but you know,
I hope it's not, but I'm not going to lose my shit if it does happen.
the thing with Kevin O'Connell and you know and like a Kyler Murray, like a whatever. Derek, yeah, I'm not against Derek Carr either, Drew. You'd have to give up something to go get him, but
For a competition, yes. If it was strictly a legitimate competition, then yeah,
yeah, I'm not
absolutely.
bringing in Derek Carr to be the unquestioned starter. But if you have every opportunity to compete against JJ McCarthy and win, then sure. But just the point I was going to make here a minute ago, the Kevin O'Connell, I think, is gets that. How do I want to put it? The cute puppy in the window kind of thing. You walk by the pet store and oh, he's so cute. I want that one. I want that one. With quarterbacks, it's like, and then when you bring him home and he craps all over your rug, then you don't want him anymore. So then you walk by the pet store again. You want another one. I mean, that's what it seems like to me. Is he's the
And
quarterback,
they need to
the
afford
quarterback guru,
McCarthy.
whatever. But
They need to afford McCarthy more time to develop. You
yeah,
can't just give
he's
up
a
on the kid after
23-year-old
one
kid who's
season.
played 10 games in the league.
He was our guy going into that draft. We loved McCarthy going into that draft, and he needs that time to develop. You can't just expect greatness on day one.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. We'll find out here in the next couple of days. Of course, legal
I
tampering's.
agree. Carr would be a top end backup for sure.
Yeah, he would.
And like a lot of you are saying, yeah, Murray's not coming here to back up JJ McCarthy.
No, he's not.
Yeah, and
But
that
there again, I don't think Kirk Cousins would either. And Cousins Cousins and Rodgers fall in the same boat. And I think I mentioned this last week. If they came in and JJ McCarthy beat them out in training camp, I think either one of those guys probably would just say, "Fuck it, I'm done," and leave
exactly.
the
I said the
Vikings,
same thing last week, Drew.
without a viable backup.
I said the same thing last week. JJ McCarthy at this point will be the Vikings starting quarterback week one of the season.
I hope you're right, Drew, because the other options out there right now aren't that appealing. Yes, Lance has been glazing for Murray a little bit, and I've been talking Geno Smith, but take this with a grain of salt. We're not preaching these guys like this is the answer for the next 5-10 years or whatever. It's a backup position meant to mentor, push JJ McCarthy, and to be able to play a couple of games if McCarthy gets hurt again. And if everything goes to shit, you draft another quarterback next year.
And a lot of my opinion comes off of what I'm seeing. I mean, there is some sauce
Yeah,
there to that
absolutely.
rumor about Murray coming in here. And I mean, it could happen. It could definitely happen. And that's why I talk about it.
That's why I prefaced the quarterback discussion here with probably need to prepare ourselves for the fact that it probably is going to happen.
Does it mean that I want him to come here and take JJ McCarthy's job? No. No. McCarthy's the guy.
I think
But if they're bringing in
he will
Murray, he's
be.
not coming in to fucking play backup.
No.
So I want McCarthy to be the week one starter, but
Yeah, absolutely, and that's all I'm asking for, Drew. I don't want somebody to come in and unless somehow or another you go get Joe Burrow or somebody of that ilk, then yeah, he's the unquestioned starter, and that is what it is.
another great comment.
Yeah, and that's part of the thing that scares me about this is it's too short sighted. They're not looking about, and that's the reason why the Vikings have never won a damn Super Bowl is because they're too short sighted. It's what are we going to do to win this year? What are we going to do to win this year? Not what are we going to do to be able to win for the next 5 years? What are we going to do to be able to build a
And
dynasty like the Patriots or like the Chiefs or like San Francisco and Dallas in the 90s or
those
you know
those 5 last games of the season last year, a lot of people like to say, well, they were just against shitty teams. And those reps were very valuable to JJ. And And I'll tell you what, he played his best football those last 5 games of the season.
Mm-hmm. Even with a
So
busted hand in 2 of them.
right. So I mean, we need to see it out and see it through, Rhino.
Yeah.
This organization needs to see it through.
No,
The
I
JJ
agree.
McCarthy
I
thing.
agree. But anyway, we've gone on for a little over an hour here now, and I've ranted so hard I got a headache. But anyway, yeah, big stuff coming up. Of course, this week we're going to have a lot of answers coming out to us. Yeah, Drew, I just turned 51 this week, and I'm not that far behind you, and I feel your pain. But of course, legal tampering starts on Monday. The new league year starts Wednesday. That's when all the things can be official. But Monday, things are going to come hot and heavy. But look for more Viking stuff to come yet this weekend. I think there's still going to be some stuff, talking about the O'Neill potential extension, a Hawkinson restructure, and who knows what else happens between now and then. But make sure you join us next week as we'll break down all the stuff that happens, and then we'll go from there and see what pick up the pieces next week and see where we're at. But with that, want to thank all you guys tonight for coming in on a late night show tonight. Great comments, great discussion tonight. We got a little heated in there, but that's good. I'm all for that.
That's good. That's good. I
Yeah,
like the debate.
it makes the show interesting. So that's
Right.
absolutely good.
Just because you fucking get into a heated debate doesn't mean that you all everybody hates each other.
Right, exactly. But yeah, big thank you guys again for joining us as always. Couldn't do this show without you. But with that, why don't you take us home, Lance?
I love you guys, and I think Drew said it best. He just wants the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
Man, us Vikings fans, we're due. We really are. I remember watching back in '98. Cunningham to Moss, and thinking we're going to get one within the next few years. Well, here we are, sitting in 2026, and I think that was probably outside of the Brett Favre year against New Orleans. I think that's probably the closest we've ever gotten. So,
yeah.
Friday this week again, but we can do a 9:30 show. So we'll go shoot for Friday this week. Discuss what we got going on when the free agency actually opens up, and I think we'll know a lot more about the quarterback position by the time that Friday rolls around. So,
yep.
Appreciate all you new guys coming in here. I like the fire that you got. A lot of you guys came in with too, as well as challenging us as hosts.
We're always going to welcome a challenge in here too, to on what we're thinking or what you guys are thinking. That's why we do this. So,
yeah. But with that being said, I hope to see you all again next week, Friday. Just keep an eye on the Facebook page and find the time accordingly. So, Millie and Aubrey, if you're out there watching at some point, Dad loves and misses you. Skull.
Have a great weekend, everybody.